Hey, it's Jody Taylor of SnackySays.com. Welcome back to my podcast. I am out for a walk and someone is definitely mowing their lawn, so you may hear that in the background. You may hear a little bit of traffic, some birds, and you will definitely hear me huffing and puffing on this walk. Got to get these steps in. So I am thinking about money. And in particular, I'm thinking about a calendar reminder that popped up. It pops up like every couple of months, and it has for the last 10 years or so on my calendar. And it says, you must save more than you spend. This line is from The Minimalist. At the time, I think I was subscribing to their newsletter or at least reading their blog, and this is from both. And I was like trying to cut down on my material possessions. But why this stood out to me is because at the time I was definitely spending way more than I made. And I don't know that I had any savings to speak of. And so to read that in one sentence, in one line, it really struck me. It really resonated with me. So much so that I saved it. I saved the paragraph and the link, and it still pops up to this day as a reminder. So if you needed the reminder, here it is. You must save more than you spend. And if like me 10 years ago, you never heard this before, here's something to consider. I would also add, I'm not a money expert. I'm expert on my money trials and tribulations and jubilations. Thank God I've had some good times with money as well. And so I would also add, you must save more than you spend and stay out of debt. And they talk about it in that post, and I'll share the link to the post. You know, you will undoubtedly have your own money philosophy. I'm just... you're my captive audience right now. So I'm just giving you my unsolicited 2 cents. I wish that this was something we all learned in schools, personal finance, as opposed to geometry and algebra, because in the long run, it's way more useful. And that is changing a little bit in schools nowadays. But if, like me, you're not in elementary or junior high, and you're just stumbling across this, it's something to consider adopting early and often. Save as much as you can, and you know what that number is. I think if you go on the internet or YouTube, most people, my senses, will say something like 20%. For you, it might be 50%. If you look into the FIRE movement, which is financial independence, retire early, a lot of those folks are going to say 50% of your income. As a matter of fact, if there are 2 people, like 2 partners, hubby, wife, 2 roommates, I don't know, I'm making this up, they might save one salary and spend the other salary. So for you, experiment if you're keen, and see what that looks like for you. There are a whole bunch of things that I've done over the years to help manage my money and understand my money. The first thing I did after vacation that I loved, but didn't love the last city or hotel. No, that's not true. I actually did like the hotel, but didn't love that town, and realized dang, I don't have enough money to just leave and go to another town. I have to stay in this town. I can't change my airline ticket. I can't, I was limited. And I was like, you know what? Never again. I'm not doing this. I got to have enough money to switch up my vacation while I'm on vacation, or whatever, fill in the blank for whatever you want to do. Money gives you options. And so when we got back from that vacation, I started tracking everything, like deliveries. I was living in Korea at the time, like deliveries, orders, it doesn't matter where you live, just for context, coffees. And then I was able to see where the money was going and realize what was in line with my values and the money I was spending that really wasn't. Like, did I really need a chocolate bar every time I got off the bus in front of the 7-Eleven? Yeah, it felt like it, but ultimately I decided no, I didn't really need it. I started paying attention to how much the heating bill was during certain months. You know, if I budgeted for, like, sometimes obviously in the summer it would be non-existent and then it would go way, way up. So I would budget for that in advance. I just found ways to be more aware of my money. And when I came back from that vacation and tracked it, that's all I did. I just tracked it for a month or two. I didn't make any changes. I really just took a look at the data. Basically, it was pen and paper, just to see where it was going. And then I started making changes. And then I started like saving my money and deciding like, okay, this money is going to go for this. This money is going to go for that. And you know what? Success. I enjoyed my travels after that because I knew I had a lot of options. And guess what? It didn't happen again that I was in a town I didn't like and I wanted to leave. I don't know what it is about money and options, but I find the more money I have, the less shit goes wrong. I don't know why that is. Have you had that experience? It's like when I don't have any money, everything is breaking. Everything is going wrong. I need a dental procedure like yesterday that cost $2,000. No money. When I'm flush, no problems. Is it just me? So, to bring it back on home, yes, save money, spend in line with your values, spend less or save less than you're spending, and stay out of debt. I wish that's something that folks would talk about more, or certainly when I was in school, no one talked about it. That's changing. But stay out of debt. It doesn't help you, you know. Like, I remember buying something, you know, let's say going to lunch, and still basically paying for it months later because I didn't pay off the credit card bill. It's just asking for trouble. Now, I'm not saying, and again, I'm not a money expert, I'm not saying don't use a credit card. What I started doing is using my card and then paying it off every month and not leaving a balance. And I will tell you that got tricky because I felt like I was just using the card and then taking my paycheck and sending it to the card. So I had to get a handle on that. So experiment. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to you. But I will say, whether it's money or fitness, because, you know, all roads lead to fitness and food with me, go into the mindset that you're going to fail, or you may fail and be okay with it, especially if it's something new. I failed so many times trying to get a handle on my money and my fitness and my food. Ultimately, these things are really important to my life, so I kept going. I kept going, and I've spoken about it regarding fitness and food, but it's super frustrating sometimes. And I think it was mostly frustrating in retrospect because I didn't factor in that failure would be a part of the process, and it made it more difficult. So now when I'm failing, I still don't like it. I'm still frustrated. You know, like I had $25. I still don't know what happened to that $25. That kind of went missing in my checking account. And I was so frustrated, but I know, like, okay, I'm gonna give myself some grace, and I don't know what happened to that $25, and that's okay. It's not gonna happen again. I'm gonna keep up with my budget. I'm gonna make sure I put everything in. It's very strange. I still can't figure it out. But anyway. Okay, so I know I said it before, but for real. To bring it on home, I am going to put the link to that post. It is 10 years old, but I see that they've updated it over the years. I went back and read it this week. You must save more than you spend, and you can read about why he says that. I agree with it because money gives you options. You can save and buy something you really want, whether it's an experience or an actual thing. I think you should spend, no. For me, I prefer to spend in line with my values. And consider tracking what you spend if you don't already, just to see where your money goes. If possible, stay out of debt. And then finally, and again, this is just all my opinion, you may have a home that you cherish, but you just don't want to pay off in 5 years. You're happy paying it off in 30 years. I get it. It's all up to you. And of course, when we're talking about money, I say things like financial independence, financial dignity, financial success. Those mean different things to different people. So define what your money phrases and terms are. It might be like an inside joke, I'm making this up, like Apple money, which means nothing to me. I actually was thinking of the fruit, but maybe you thought of the company, maybe you want to have money for a certain thing. Maybe you just want to have it. I'll leave you with this. My economics professor in college said to me once, and again, it was one of those things that just blew my mind. He said, yeah, you should have 1 to 2 years emergency money saved. And I kind of thought it was ridiculous. It just seemed like how would you save that much money? And for some reason, it stuck with me all of these years. And again, if you've lived through hard financial times or unexpected loss of income or just medical expenses, I've had some medical bills, like things pop up, dental bills, and it's like, well, hey, he was right. If in those scenarios I had 1 or 2 years salary saved, it would have sucked, but not so much. I just find the more money you have, sorry, Biggie. Biggie said more money, more problems. But I find the more money you have, you'll still have the problems, but you'll have so many more options when it comes to solving them. Okay, I have been slowing down my pace, chitty-chatting with you all. I'm going to pick up my pace because I'm out here for my fitness. I'm going to pick up the pace, and I'm going to wish you all a very good day, good afternoon, or good night, depending on where you are. Thanks for listening to my my money thoughts on my walk. I hope you check out that post by The Minimalist. I just find it very profound. And if you have a profound phrase or money philosophy that you'd like to share, please write me at Jodie, Joddie, @SnackySays.com. Thank you for listening.